Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and before we get started, if you want to know exactly how to win again and again, go to weidelonwinning.com/webinar now to watch something I've put together for you. Now let's get going into this episode of Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm here talking with Gurpreet Singh, a legend in business and having success all throughout New York. Where all is your businesses? Have your businesses expanded, Gurpreet?
Well, it's primarily New York. All the people that I talk to or are part of my business, they're in New York, and we also have parts of Connecticut.
And is that a strategy on your part, or is that the way it's evolved?
No, it's evolved. My strategy was to build in New York because there's 19.8 million people. And, having access to that type of people with diversity and location, to me, that's profound. But now I don't even think about New York. I think about the universe having 7.8 billion people. That's a resource right there.
Yeah. And the thing is that it might be time to go to the fortune teller again and have the fortune teller tell you you're destined to be a great business leader with an organization all over North America, rather than just in New York, because a lousy 19 million people is no place to just bury yourself.
Right. Absolutely. That's a good thought.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to further plant that in your head by telling you that you are not allowed to leave New York or Connecticut now, okay? Because your family's from India, because you have all of these disadvantages, and because you're female, you're just not allowed.
I don't know.
This time next year, you'll probably be in 50 states.
Absolutely. That's a good thought right there. I just wrote it down.
Yeah. Why has nobody ever challenged you on that before, giving you a dare? The thing is, there are people all over the country that you can impact. So just think about it, Gurpreet. And by the way, call me. I'll be glad to help you as you go through that navigation. But talk about now where you moved up and you got your own business. I mean, that's where life really begins for a business person. They get their own unit, their own division, their own project, something that's their own. Did you go through any of those phases before you got your own business, or go right from being an employee to where you started your own business?
No, absolutely. I don't consider them hardships. I just consider them part of the journey. So here I was, I was single and up until a certain age, and then I got married, and my husband, now he was more the technical person. I was more the action person. I had ideas, but he knew how to back those ideas financially. So us collaborating together, that's what made it work, because, every little detail, minute detail, mathematical detail, things like that. But I had, like I said, the creativity and the vision. And I got excited about it every day. Now, he would ask me all the time, like, how do you intend to do that? I said, I have no idea. I really don't. But it's going to happen and attract, and the right people are going to unfold. People are going to come to play, and as long as I hold that vision, hold that thought, and that came back from Dr. Wayne Dyer, is that if you have a thought that you want something or you have a dream, hold on to it. Don't let it go. It's almost like you're holding on to something dear to life, and people are trying to steal it from you by asking you, well, how do you get there? I don't know, but guess what? The universe will unfold.
And Bill Arender said one time, he said, just because you're not good enough today doesn't mean that you won't be good enough tomorrow. And just because you don't know that person that you need to know today doesn't mean you might not know them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, our abilities change, our skills change, the dynamics change out there. And if you keep moving forward, it'll change in a positive way. So how much work did you put into finding the right business opportunity?
I think I just went on with life. And, one day somebody told me about a business, and this is how I unfolded. And I didn't know that was going to be the business. I just knew that, hey, I have to be open-minded and I have to be willing to learn.
Talk about that. Why was that hard for you to be open-minded? I mean, it seems like you're always learning.
Yeah, and it wasn't hard because life had brought me to that point with all the things I've learned, that you can't be closed to things you don't know about. And I remember, again, I know you said, you didn't want, nothing good comes out of something like Oprah Winfrey, but again.
No, I was just teasing.
I know. But
if you get in the locker room with me, in spite of the fact that you're a female, I've got to tease you.
Yes.
That's what we do in the locker room. Okay.
Right. So she said something profound. She said, if you prejudge something, you're prejudiced. And I always thought about myself as a person who's open and diverse. And when I heard that, oh my God, if I prejudge something that I haven't tried yet, or I'm prejudging something I don't know about, then I'm prejudiced, and I don't want to be labeled a prejudiced person.
Yeah, and we're all prejudiced to some degree. I mean, the whole thing, I'm not prejudiced. Yeah. But it's a matter of, do you let it control your life and, your actions and things like that, but and when you catch yourself in it, do you make adjustments? But we're all human, nobody's perfect in anything, especially in that area, And so when you go, you move forward, what was challenging, the most challenging to you about launching your business?
The challenge was me. The challenge was opening myself up to the world and becoming that people person, connecting with the audience, being able to have the confidence to sell my vision. That was the biggest thing for me, because I knew my vision. Internally, I was excited about the vision, but it had to be communicated. People had to know about it, and I had to be a good connector of people. And here was just little me trying to be me. And here I'm up against the world trying to create a marketplace in this world of 19.8 million people. And I'm lost and I'm losing, and I'm, life is not the best I wanted it to be. I always say I was broken on the journey a little bit, even though I knew what I wanted. But along the way, there were those hiccups on the road. And here I was, I had to pull myself up one more time and talk to the world and let them know, oh my God, this is possible. So I think that was the hardest part.
You've done a real good job of hiding any kind of negative experiences you've had up to this point. What did you have happen that really caused you to lose your inspiration, your knocked you off tracks, take the wind out of your sails as you were coming up the ladder, because a young kid, you're learning all this stuff. I want to be in business. I want to be, that's my destiny, this, that, and the other. Then you get in the real world and you start taking it on the chin, and you start meeting the monsters that exist out there in business. Mm-hmm. And isn't it amazing how many monsters there are in the business world or the real world? I mean, how do these people live? But, and I had a book I was going to write one time, and then I thought better of it. It was like monster. I was going to write it for kids. Okay. It's like, just as nobody ever tells you these things, but get ready if you're getting ready to go out the world. Monsters you will meet in business. They're out there. Trust me. And, it's easier to protect yourself if these kinds of, everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. Let's just say that. Mm-hmm. And so what kind of things happened to you along the way that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I think I lost confidence being, $40,000 in debt and living in America, the richest country in the world. And here I am broken, and I'm working 2 jobs, working my butt off. And, I don't have the money to prove it. I don't have money to prove my dream. I don't have, economic prosperity. That's what really,
In other words, you were too hard on yourself,
yes.
because, it takes time to overcome they really give, the colleges give every student a great gift, along with the diplomas, a huge debt. So they have no choice. They've got to work. And the thing is that you can judge yourself. That's one thing for us to learn, is you cannot allow yourself to be your own worst critic and, enemy, to the point of chopping yourself up. You got to be your own biggest cheerleader, when you coach yourself, and be keeping your eyes on the progress you're making, because at any one point, pretty much anybody can get so depressed they want to blow their brains out,
Absolutely.
And even though, like the Royals over there in England, they've got no job, they've got lifetime security on everything, and you see them, it's like life is hell. Every day is hell. People demand, nobody says and criticize that. And then the beautiful models, the models, they make, $40,000 for a 1-hour photo shoot, and this, that, and the other. But then in their thing, I had a pimple, or, I wore this dress to the Oscars and everybody ripped me a new one, like, what are you wearing a red dress for? That's this outrageous that you would take that. And, everybody's getting criticized all the time. Everybody has issues they're dealing with, but you cannot join the chorus of the people that are telling you you're not good enough, you've blown it. You've got to keep your eye on the prize, like you did as a young girl, when you didn't worry about the train and 4-year. You didn't start off high school with, oh Lord, the first time you got off the 1-hour trip into the city, you didn't say, oh geez, one trip down, another one at the end of the day, and then I've got 4 more years of this. I mean, you can always talk yourself out of something, but when you graduate, you get out on your own, you got the debt, you got this, that, you got to really give yourself time to put things together, to hunt around, to find the right people, to find the right slot. And it's harder when you're down in yourself, don't you think?
Hey, listen, there's a lot of information online, but there aren't a lot of people who've actually done something. In my case, I've actually built a successful business that's accrued over $5 billion in assets under management and has done well even during trying times. Now, if you want to know exactly how I've done this, go to whitelmwinning.com/webinar now. I've compressed a decade of learning into 5 short weeks just for those of you who want to give yourself an incredible advantage and are tired of waiting and watching others move up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just listening to you, what I was lacking was a mentor. And I had to be my own mentor. I was in my own head, fighting those battles. Whereas, it's not even the world against me. It was me against me.
Right.
And that's why mentorship is so important, because I remember, my first mentor was in business was really my husband, because he was like, well, you got to understand the math behind this. And I was like, math? What math behind it? So he was mentoring me from the background, creating this business plan, while I was in the front doing the activity part of it.
And talk about how long it took to get your business off the ground. How did you make those changes and everything?
I would say it took over 2 years, because again, here I was fighting the battle every day with myself, knowing what I want, but I'm not communicating to the people, so it really took over 2 years to launch it. And it didn't take 2 years because I had this 2-year plan. It took 2 years because of myself. The first thing I had to do was build that foundation, which is the confidence, right? Which, I had to listen to people like Zig Ziglar and things like that. Jim Rohn, I think they really affected me in those 2 years because their words became part of my daily, talk. And from that, then I was like, okay, now it's ready to take action. It's ready to now, wherever your confidence is, just shut up and go get to work.
Yeah. And so what are things that you have been most excited about happening to you in business that you're the proudest of?
I would say that I'm proudest of, raising my 2 kids in this business. I'm proud of my family relationship, with my husband and my children and my family, and being able to continue having good health and, having a business where I can balance my life. Because some people, they have business, they have money, but they lost their health, they lost their family. Here, I was able to balance it out with my own health, with my own priorities, with my own schedule, and then not, focus on what the world wanted me to do. It was more focused on what I wanted to do.
And what are you most excited about now? Family and this, that, and the other. I get that, your health and all that, but what you've been able to accomplish, places you've been able to go, people you've been able to meet, opportunities that now you have a chance to do. What are you excited about now? Because now you're not that 6-year-old who heard about, the fortune teller saying, you're going to be a success in business and have a business of your own and all that, become wealthy. Now you're there. Is it worth it? Is it what you thought it would be? I mean, is it something people should aspire to?
Absolutely, it's worth it. And the beautiful part about it is because when you discipline yourself to this journey, every day is a new day. And what I'm excited about is the future, is that I really haven't even done anything yet. I've now set the stage to learn the missing pieces, which means that the future is so incredible because I've grown myself to realize that anything is possible. So I'm really excited about, it's the wealth is great, having the money is great, being able to go to the bank and having that ATM card and having money come out when you actually put it in.
Yeah.
That's exciting, right? But those are just little things in the journey, right? But really what's exciting is when you're able to talk to yourself and say the greatest days are yet to come, that you're going to affect more people in your business, that people in your business are going to have this amazing life. And you're going to be able to show them how to do that. Because if you're able to show them and become a testimony, that to me is the most powerful thing in the universe.
Yeah. And by the way, did you ever pay that $40,000 loan off?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
How did it feel to pay that thing off?
Oh, it felt invigorating. It feels amazing being debt-free. It feels amazing that all your bills get paid automatically through your account and you never have to write a check. You never have to worry about, oh my God, do I have the money? No, the possibility is you have the money. And the question is now, how can you impact by doing what you're doing?
And what have you done to stay fresh and motivated and continue to develop and stay on the attack and energized? I know, you've been in things like book clubs and this and that and the other, you've been proactive in making positive things happen in your mind. Talk about that.
Yeah, what's exciting is that, the development part of it keeps you excited because every morning, I have a regimen. It's like a 3-part regimen. The first thing I do, and nothing gets done until this part is done. And it's called prayer, and it's called reading, and it's called exercise. So I'm working on my spiritual, I work on my mental, and I work on my physical before I even attack the day. So if I'm going on a flight like 5 o'clock in the morning, then I have to start like 2 o'clock in the morning because it takes me about 2 hours to do the segment. right? And I think that keeps me invigorated because it keeps me focused on like, wow, the greatest days, like I said, are yet to come. You know, the improvements, the daily talk with ourselves, you know, and they always say, you know, prayer is how we talk to God, and then God talks to us through intuition. And the greatest, you know, creative things that I come up with in the morning, you know, I write them down, I jot them down. I'm able to look at my goals and I don't laugh at them anymore. I just look at them and say, okay, these are the possibilities.
Yeah, and I appreciate you sharing this afternoon, Gurpreet. Do you have a final word that you would like to pass on?
My final word would be, you know, never stop dreaming. Don't ever stop dreaming, right? Because I think God or whoever you believe in planted that dream inside of you. And you have to pay attention and listen, and you have to make that dream come true. And even though it sounds quirky, right? Like people say, oh, dreams and all that. But I think, you know, a dream is a personal thing. It's an internal thing. Even though people say, oh, I want to be successful, I want to have a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. But a dream is just so personal because it's what you're going to do with the money, right? We all want the money, but it's what is you going to do with it? And you always have to look inside yourself and say, what are the possibilities? How can I make a difference? And then the first person you can make a difference is to yourself. Because if you're broken, you can't fix anybody.
Okay, fantastic, Gurpreet. It's been great talking with you, and look forward to doing this again.
If you enjoyed what you've heard and are dead serious about finding out for yourself exactly how this works in the real world, I've taken the most valuable business lessons I've learned over 40 years and put them into something for you to watch. Go to whiteelemwinning.com/webinar now in order to move up as fast as possible. I'm Larry Weidel, and I run the $1 Million Mastermind. Go, go, go.